It's the Tabletop Call-In Show. How's it going, everybody? We are here. It is March 14th, 2022. Pi Day is one word for it. Jeremy appears to be locked in the stasis of prayer, and I am here to talk to you. My name is Adam Bell. I am one of the hosts of this here program. You can find me on Twitter at AdamEBell. You can get some games that I've made at adamebell.games or adamebell.itch.io. Jeremy, whenever you're done, why don't you talk to the audience?
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Tabletop Call-In Show. My name is Jeremy Gage. You can find me at JeremyGage5 over on Twitter. And you can listen to the Draw Your Dice podcast, following it at Draw Your Dice Pod, also on the Twitter.
Is that the tone we're gonna go for today?
That is my sermon today, yes.
Like nice and hello.
When I got here for this, as anyone can see, I'm obviously not in my office. I'm at an undisclosed location of house sitting some doggos. But when I got here, there was, not by choice of the owners, but they left the TV on, and there was just a guy telling me what God wanted me to do.
And what was that?
I was inspired.
What does God want you to do?
I don't know. I sat at my computer after that, and then Destiny was my god from that point forward.
Okay.
So.
Understood. Yeah, it's somehow the middle of March. I didn't even notice. We're here to talk about, what are we talking about today? Well, theoretically, whatever.
Is it a call-in show?
It is a call-in show, so anybody could hop in. I should have Discord up just to see if anybody's hopping in. Anybody could hop in. It's the call-in show, but until then, let's see. I've got a few things. I haven't touched that shit. Come on. Here, I'm gonna type it out manually. .vqw9akhvhv. Look, it's like it worked. Oh, right, the chat doesn't work either on the screen, which is half the time how I see the chat, but it's okay. I've got two things. I've been playing, it's still the only game, anything that I've really done in the past week has been Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got all that. That's about it. There's also real life stuff we could talk about that, but we could just reveal to the show audience that, well, the simple version of it is that I have to go get a real job, and I did do that, and then I will be working starting in April, and we will see what the fuck that does to this show. Whether it's a change of date, a change of format, we don't know yet. But,
Yeah.
keep an eye out.
Yeah. Stay tuned, studio audience member, also known as Sam's, which is gender neutral.
Yeah. Hey there, Sam's. You're just,
Hey, Sam's.
just
How's
dropping that on me live.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Try it out today. What does Sam's think today out there?
We're looking for some live Sam's calling in. No, that could be something that you and I could talk about, which is the kind of the balancing of the worlds that you live in. Like for the past, what has it been, like 8 months? I abolished the world of regular work to try to live in the world of I'm a game designer. And I think it worked out. I think if some personal life things weren't happening, I could probably keep plugging away at that and maybe make a living. But, now I've got to refigure, like, I haven't touched, since I've figured out that I'm doing this, I haven't actually touched the game design stuff at all. And I think it's because I need to figure out how to, like, reorient myself to game design and like tabletop games in general, away from job mode and back to like hobby mode, if that makes sense. And that's, I don't know. What do you got? You got any thoughts on that? On how to do that, or?
Yeah, I mean, off mic, I told you about this, but I'll say it again for those who are all listening. I watched a really interesting video by. I'll look it up at some point if I find a time to search it on the YouTubes. But I watched a video about the subject matter was content creation or like being an artist in the modern day, and how a lot of it is focused on brand. This video goes into like the history of how like sort of art crowdfunding started, like how the curator position became a thing um, in the art world, and I found it really fascinating. But the ultimate message of the video was talking about width versus depth, and how a lot of the time content creators, when they first start doing it, it makes especially the word content. Content feels like something that's very like
I try to.
consumable,
I,
devourable.
I do my best to
Uh,
never say the word content.
yeah,
It's hard.
yeah,
I slip into it, but
yeah.
I
But
don't
it's
want
just one of those things where it doesn't feel like you're producing art anymore. It's
mm,
more like you're producing, um,
treats.
like the platform's word for art, right? You're producing tweets. You're producing TikToks. You're producing YouTube videos. You're not producing like something for yourself or something that deepens your understanding of the world or your connections with people. You're trying to satisfy the algorithm so it pumps it out to as many eyeballs so you can go viral as soon as possible. And that's width. Um, I want to explore like stuff with depth, right? Like I want to do more research. I want to make Umbral Dive. Umbral Dive is a perfect example of depth. I don't want to make 10 or 20 different games. I'm going to make one game. I'm going to make it really fucking good. Although this one game has 5 mini games inside of it, so maybe it's a halfway point, but the point is like there's going to be probably a shift in the digital nomad life of working from home and trying to be a quote unquote content creator
Content
and
creator.
content creator. And it's going to focus a lot more on communities, deepening relationships with people, and creating work that you're proud of rather than spray and praying all over the internet by
Mm,
using every medium out there. And
right.
it's something I really am. It's just something I'm really thinking about. Really
Yeah.
thinking about how to create something that I can give to people that is on a deeper level.
Yeah. That sounds all about right. That feels like part of what both of us were maybe not knowingly tapping into when we decided that we wanted to try to make a fucking website. But like similar energy there of like we wanted to do something that is less reliant on those platforms and more just like whatever the fuck we want to make.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
been a little slow going. Well, I'll admit it. We forgot to do the news
Yeah.
last week. I'm, I'm not gonna lie. we
Every morning I thought about it and then I had something else to do and I just could not get back to thinking about it again.
I,
So
I
sorry for that, everyone.
I remembered on like Thursday, and then I figured
Huh.
if you Mr. Organized hadn't brought it up, it's because you had shit to do, and it was fine.
It's not untrue.
Yeah, maybe that's a bi-weekly thing. Who knows? We'll find
Yeah.
out.
We're learning, everyone.
We
Thanks for
are.
hanging around while we learn.
Yeah, because we're trying to figure out like what is our relationship to this thing, because we do
Yeah.
like definitely want to make it a thing that is like fun and sustainable, and maybe gives us money in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
But the important thing, I think, in the short term, in order to be set up for that long term, is keeping it, um, keeping it that fun and sustainable. And so, if we can't do something any given week, it doesn't get done, and that's okay. And
Yeah.
there's no beating ourselves up about like, oh, sorry that we didn't. I mean, we could say sorry,
Mr.
but like,
Weekly Algorithm.
we
Ah!
can say sorry, but I'm not sorry. It didn't happen. You can go fucking look on Twitter yourself.
Yeah. I am
Uh,
uh I am a yeah, that's true. Uh I am someone who leans in slightly the other direction of like I understand obligations and like consistency in terms of like promises, I think that's what keeps me like going to make things or do the podcast or something like that. It's like I feel like, and this is not at the detriment of my own like mental health, soul health, or body health. It's just a matter of like, okay, I made an obligation to like to myself to do this thing, promises to people to help them out. So like that's what keeps me doing the podcast. Um, I would never berate myself, and I've done it in the last year of like, oh, I'm gonna take a week off because I had to like burst out 3 episodes, and that's
Mm.
just like, you got 3 episodes, pace yourselves because that's your
Right.
responsibility, not mine. Uh, but yeah, I think for me, it's more of a matter of like, who did I make promises to? Do I want to keep those promises? And um, how do I execute that in the most marathon like way possible rather than sprinting is
Hmm.
the for this vernacular example.
Yeah. How do you do anything? How does anybody do anything? I ask myself that a lot.
How does anyone
How
do
does
anything?
anyone fucking achieve a goddamn thing with everything that we have to do that isn't achieving?
There's a really interesting, I think I mentioned this to you before, and I've mentioned to a couple people who might be listening, but there's a really cool book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It just talks of like the big single sentence bullet point is how to form a habit, or how to form a habit and how to break a habit.
Mm-hmm.
um, and one of the things that I think really set my mind in how does anyone do anything, right? As you sort of asked that question, there's like if you imagine um three concentric rings that have like zones. The outer zone is like outcome, the inner zone is identity, and then I can't remember what the middle zone is, but it doesn't matter for what I'm about to say. But a lot of people go, I think I did mention this to you, but a lot of people go goal first oriented
Uh-huh.
thinking, and all of their decisions and processes are based off the goal. Then there's maybe a more subset of people who do identity based, like, and everyone has a mix of these things. Some people have identity goals, and some people have like outcome goals. So the example in the book is someone offers you a cigarette and you go, no, I'm trying to quit smoking. That's an outcome goal. And you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to do all of these things to achieve that goal, but a goal can be finite. It's not sort of infinite. It's like once you feel like, you could easily relapse into smoking, just as an example, not everyone is like this. But you could easily relapse, like, oh, I've been not smoking for like a year. I had this really stressful moment. I smoke again. Um, then this person offers it to a second person. Hey, do you want a cigarette? It's like, no, I'm not a smoker. The difference is so subtle, but like you've intrinsically ingrained that you are not a smoker in your life, that there's very little, if no chance, uh, that you are going to engage in smoking because it's not something you do. It's not who you are. So the book talks about thinking towards what identities do you want to be known as or that you want for yourself, and then structuring your habits and goals around those things. Like, I identify as a game designer. So what do I think a good game designer does, right? What are all the habits and tools that they use that I think a good game designer does? And the book easily says that a lot of the things he recommends, which is why I like the book, he's like, a lot of these things are double-edged swords because you could easily get into a place where like,
Mm.
well, I think a good game designer has all the latest software and a sick computer and like buys a bunch of games, and like you're front loading a bunch of costs that maybe you don't need to do. So like you can really go on the deep end with some stuff if you don't
Yeah.
really
There's
analyze like what you think good means.
there's sort of this is sort of like the even more boiled down version of this is just the phrase "fake it till you make it." It sounds like
Mm.
just
Mm.
act like a person that's like that until you're like that.
Yeah.
Um, which I mean, it works. That shit
Yeah.
works. Fake it till you make it. Build a habit out of who you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that brings us back to the original question of like, how the fuck do I reformat my interaction with this whole world that I live in and do want to continue like living in and making stuff for and making games and videos and all that while I'm also strapped to the same computer um doing quote unquote real work, which is way more fake than the game's work, if you ask me. But you know, it's the stuff
Hmm.
that'll pay the bills.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Um,
How do I? I don't know. You don't have to answer. You
there's
don't.
a
I'm
lot.
not looking
There's
for an answer. Just you're
I'm
doing
gonna give
great.
it to you.
Keep it. Come on.
uh, no, it's gonna be really different for a lot of people, but one of the one of the things that it's about having like really clear lines
Mm.
for me, and I mean in a lot of ways in my house. So like having a space that, like for instance, when I go to write for any game stuff, I actually don't use my computer. I use my iPad and I take it somewhere in the house, or I go to like a coffee shop, because in my mind I've structured the habit around my iPad means writing time,
Yeah.
whereas my computer uh, in the past has been like a gaming engine as well. So my computer is both a writing station, but also a gaming station, but also like a YouTube viewing station. So you get into the weird, like muddy waters of like, oh, well, I'm taking my break. Let me go watch a quick YouTube video or watch a quick anime, or let me hop on and do my dailies or something like that. And you
That's
get kind of like, it's, you could even say like you spend just like an extra 10 minutes, but that extra 10 minutes is something you took away from yourself in an organized way to get something done or accomplish something. So I try to like have spaces that are designed to make sure that I don't engage in a different activity in the same area. Like I put all my workout equipment in a different room. I have a
mm,
chair in the living room that's actually spun away from the TV, like towards the window, and that's
unhinged.
like my reading chair.
That's
Like it
good. That's a
keeps
great
me from
idea.
like,
But I bet walking in there, you're like, what the fuck is going on with this chair?
yeah,
Anybody
yeah.
else? This chair's facing the
Uh,
wrong way.
but it's like it's just one of those little things
Mm.
that like keeps me from doing something else when I don't need to be doing it at that time. Like I want to increase my skills, or I want to broaden my understanding of something. So I really, and like I can be a kind of like addictive person when it comes to like entertainment, both games and shows and stuff.
Mm.
So like I'll binge a whole anime in 2 days. I swear to God, 25 episodes down the drain. uh, but yeah, I think both segmentation of spaces, but also
Uh-huh.
segmentation of time as well. Like 6 o'clock, I am done for the workday. I'm not reading. I'm not writing. I'm not
Mm.
doing any of that shit. Everything is games and hanging out with Grace from that point forward.
Mm.
And I think that's really important because it's something I can look forward to at the end of the day. Not in a way that like makes my work drag out, but just being respectful of both. Actually, this was taught to me by shout out to Will Yopes and Seb Pines of Good Luck Press. I got in their heads a little bit about their like how they do process or how they process doing work. And one of the big things they say is that they respect their weekends and they respect their evenings.
Oh yeah.
And by that they mean like even if they have like a really great game idea, they save it for Monday. Like it'll come the next day. It'll still be there
Yeah.
as long as you jot it down somewhere.
Mm.
And I think I also have found that very, very valuable lately. Very valuable.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did a lot of that up until, really up until January. Once January hit, there were like shadows of this potential. Maybe I was gonna have to get a job again happening, and I wanted to get. There were like four things I was trying to get done at that time, so I kind of worked a little too hard. But I
Mm-hmm.
do like the segmenting of time.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. Yeah, where was I? There was something else I wanted to say at some point.
I talked
Splitting
about
the space.
spaces.
Yeah, splitting the space is nice. If you, I mean, it'd be nice to have more space. Although legally speaking, according to the way I'm filing my taxes, this room is my office for my game design business.
That's great.
It's important to think about that if you're doing taxes.
Yeah.
Anybody, you can deduct a portion of your rent if you exclusively use the space for work. Um, anyway, what I think the time thing, a funny like way that I sort of intrinsically do that is I still play the video game Rocket League, and it's largely I largely use it. I still enjoy it. So before I get into this next weird stuff, it's because I do have fun with it. But I largely find that I use Rocket League as like a conduit for that distracted energy
Mm-hmm.
that like wants to not be working. Because if I open up any other game, I might be stuck there for hours. But like Rocket League is a game that takes place in 5 to 10 minute increments. And so if I
Mm-hmm.
feel that, oh, I really, idly, I wish I was just playing a video game right now. I'll just,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say, yeah, sure, let's do it. And then I'll make myself only pick that one. Because then a game will end and I'll be like, okay, buddy, come on. Like by that time, enough of that energy had dispersed and I could just close it, hit Alt F4 and get back to whatever the fuck I was doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is,
Yeah,
was a,
there's
what? I was just gonna say that was just weird to notice a couple weeks ago, a month ago, whenever. That's
um
what I do.
two things. One, I a lot of my workday is using the anime Doro method. You might know the Pomodoro method,
Oh
but the
boy.
anime Doro method is where I work for 40 minutes in a sprint, and then for 20 minutes I watch an anime, and then 40 minutes I sprint. So like, because the regular Pomodoro is like 25-5, but that is 5 minutes is not a break, my dude. It's
No,
not. It's not a
that's why.
separation or rest from what you are doing at
No, it's
all.
not even enough time to like stand up. That's why
So that's
Pomodoros
one
never worked
thing. Yeah.
for me.
The second thing is if you really like want to get deep about how you segment your time, um, take and this for anyone watching. If you feel that you have the sort of like self awareness to do this, I highly recommend doing it. Um, get for like a week. Have a piece of paper at your desk that's your energy, and note when, because this is true of everyone. Everyone has like a high energy time and a low energy time.
Hmm.
Just keep track of like when that shift starts to happen in your brain, where you're finding it much harder to be like creative or problem solving or um, uh, engaged in like creation. I know I said creativity, but I always feel like they're two different things. Like even doing research for creative stuff, like your mind can get so full of inspiration that you feel a fog coming on.
Hmm.
So like for me, I actually found that after like roughly 2-3 p.m., I can't creatively work
Yeah.
anymore. Period. Full stop. I can't engage in anything. I don't know what is going on with my brain, but that's how it operates. So that's actually when I work out for the day. Is I'll do it at like 3 or 2 p.m.
Hmm.
Um, and then I'll engage in like menial tasks like transcription work. I'll do transcription work because I just have to listen and type. I don't have to like creatively problem
Right.
solve.
Yeah. It's input
That's
output.
something. Yeah, you could do something to that effect, and because everyone's different. My Grace's like high energy time is actually after 6 p.m. Like she finds her creative juices are really starting to flow
Yeah.
towards the evening, which
Yeah.
is really
That's
fascinating.
definitely an interesting thing because I do. I think I started more with the like you were talking how Will and Seb of Good Luck Press do it, of just shutting down after a certain time. And I did do,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I did do that for a while, but I did eventually kind of like stop enforcing that because a lot of the times during the workday, I don't have anything in me. Sometimes I do. Like if I'm really vibing on a project or like in the swing of things, I could just sit down and get started as soon as I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Not as soon as I wake up, but as soon as I have completed whatever the morning looks like.
Yeah.
Grab some coffee or whatever and pet the cats, feed the cats, all that stuff, and sit down. By the time I sit down on my computer, if I'm really in the swing of something, I could just start working. But if I'm not, like the way my brain works is I don't really get to choose whenever it wants to work on stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that's an ADHD thing.
Yeah.
Uh, I felt like a lot of the times, like creativity wise, my best time usually is between 11 p.m. and 12 midnight. And so, like, that is
Mhm.
not a time, even if I was, it's just not a time that I'm going to be creating, even if I have the creativity. So, that's a lot of times I will get an idea then and I will follow it, but, like, follow it as a concept, not try to implement it. Like, write it down on a piece
Mhm.
of paper or note it down on my phone or somewhere. Just everything I have at that point. Like don't force it. Don't be like, oh, but what's next? But if the what's next comes, I will write it down. Um, so that maybe tomorrow morning I can do it. But I do allow myself to do like a little bit of that work. There have been
Mhm.
occasional times where I'm like, wow, I'm really, in the words of the show, I'm juicing.
Yeah. Juice.
I just got out of
Say
the
it.
shower, which is usually when I crawl into bed, but I'm juicing, so I'm gonna go sit at my desk and just like write for a little bit, and that's okay because if
Mhm.
I don't do that, um, it'll be 10 times harder to try to pull that idea out of my brain in the morning. And
Mhm.
so, like, yes, you can risk the burnout by doing it at an odd hour if you're the type. I think it's really just about the type of person, because I'm not the type of person, except for extreme scenarios, which might just be every January. I'm not the type of person to like really work too hard or or
Mhm. Mhm.
or burn myself out in that way. And so I it may be more likely to burn myself out by like tossing an idea aside and saying I'll get to you later, and then working 10 times as hard to get back to that mindset.
Mhm. I know that as two more examples for anyone watching or listening later, I know that Jian Shim doesn't work until noon because she likes to take walks outside and
Mm-hmm.
tend to her plants and lots of like other personal morning activities that she has. And that's one example of someone who like can't get started until later in the day. So like instead of like a respecting your evenings and weekends, maybe you're the type of person that like respect your mornings, like take your time, do your breakfast, maybe do some yoga or something in the morning. And I know additionally for Will and Seb's process, they work about 2 to 5 hours a day or something like that, a work day. So and like really the thing they tag onto that as like quality work. Like they do 2 to 5 hours of quality work every day. Because some days have lower energy, some days have higher energy. But I think that's also something to take into note. Like, how long can you work for actually? Like, mentally engage in creativity, I think is really valuable to think about and be self aware about. Because I, uh, I do lean on one end of the spectrum of like you can if you set yourself up to say like I want to do one thing today and it's going to take me 2 hours to do that one thing that will help me
Mm-hmm.
whatever that identity goal happens to be, right? Better myself in this area or um there's an interesting video I watched that talks about like 5 things you should do with your free time because sometimes I'll be sitting there and not even playing a game and like what should I be doing right now? Like, what could I be doing right now? And I
Mm-hmm.
don't mean that in like a growth mindset sort of
Yeah,
way.
because it is
I
okay to
really,
do nothing.
yeah, it is okay to do nothing, but that nothing could be um, like it could be meditative, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if I don't think I'll be able to remember all of them off the top of the head, but I think it's um, build a skill, um, exercise, and meditation can totally count as exercise, like spiritual exercise or mental exercise. Reading to increase your knowledge, which reading and building a skill are not the or knowledge building and skill building are not exactly the same thing, so they can be different. Um, and I can't remember what the other two are, but the one I just wanted. Oh, and cleaning. One of them is cleaning. Like if you're just sort of like idling, clean up your house, do a dish, do a couple dishes,
Mm-hmm.
do laundry. Like if you're finding that you're in sort of a space of like not doing anything and can't really find anything to do, like just maybe clean up something. I'm sure there's something around your house that you could organize or clean out. Right now, me and Grace are cleaning out like our outside porch, getting ready for summer because we want to do board games out there. But it is a mess.
I gotta find a
Um,
table, an outside table.
yeah, it's a covered porch, so
Mm,
we're good.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Um,
just pure outside for us.
yeah, pure outside. But
Pure.
yeah, there's a couple of. I also think about like what do I do with my like idle time? Because I am that person. I like to be. I think that I'm just the type of person who doesn't like to do the big nothing
The big
with their
enough.
time, like just sitting and staring at paint drying. Uh,
I mean,
I
have you tried
definitely
it? Paint
yes,
drying? Thrilling.
thrilling. Uh, but yeah, it's just one of those things where I want to be doing something, but I think what's cool is that something doesn't always have to be work or growth related. It can
Right.
be like taking care of yourself, and that's also something to like respect and schedule throughout your day. So I do that at 3 p.m. I take care of myself, or I take care of the house if I have like a rest day or something.
Yeah. 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 I've been trying to do chores in that because, like I said, I haven't touched the game stuff in a couple of weeks. I think at this point, which has been kind of nice. It's been weird
Mm-hmm.
after after January and after January really rushing to get some stuff done, and then February running that Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
now I placed the order for the print run of the Kickstarter and haven't done shit since. Which means there's been a lot of time for me to figure out what to do. A lot of that has been just playing Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
We've got that covered. But yeah, I've been doing chores. I folded a bunch of zines, which I guess is work related, but it's kind of like the mindless stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to do this thing that you're saying, and it's kind of nice.
Well, it's always nice to put it into words instead of like uh feeling. I didn't do my good mornings yet for people who are here
I don't
or
think so.
that are have put in the chat. So hello, C. Framin. Hello, Eli. Hello, BLG. What's up, Dan? Hey, Dale. Hi, floating chair. Hello to this thing we got deleted over here, Martin 14.
It was something about buying new followers.
Oh, we should do that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wait, let me unban this.
Yeah.
I think we just missed an opportunity.
Yeah. For those of you who joined us later, I also propose that you will for hence be known as studio audience members or
For
SAMs.
for hints. That's
For hence,
nice.
we're gonna try it out. We're gonna try it out. Community name, the Sams out there in the chat. Hi, how you doing? Hey Rue, thanks for being here. So like, if at any time you like something, give us a little clap emoji. Just
Or call
just like in the eye.
or call in.
Yeah.
Jeremy and I can just talk to each other, but this is your time, audience, Sam's.
Yeah, you're burning your call-in time for a half hour
And
in.
it might
You're
be
wasting
I'm gonna be honest, it might be limited in the future.
it.
If you've been listening to what we're talking about.
and been vibing with it.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying like my camera's gone, that's what I'm saying.
Looks here to me. Oh, froze now.
Hmm.
The professors have office hours for a reason. That's correct, BLG. That is correct.
Yeah.
Oh, we
It
got someone who popped in. We got a grand entrance. I don't know if they
it
have
will it,
parsed.
it will reflect in your final grade. If you don't show
It's
up
true.
to office hours, I won't grade your papers leniently.
Yeah. We don't make a student teacher connection.
What's going on with my shit?
I like the green bar that's happening. I hope they can still hear you.
Yeah, they can. It's unrelated.
It's just goofy how slow this is going. For the podcast listeners, go check out the VOD and watch this green bar just inch its way. Cute.
What's happening?
BLG, why I don't call myself a game designer anymore. I just say that I design games so that I can audit the HYPT class. That's smart. And isn't that problem solving? And really, isn't problem solving being a designer?
What is happening? Jeremy, keep filling.
I'm doing it.
Keep
I
going.
wish I. Yeah, I'm here. We're in
Ne-
class. Class is in session.
never give up.
Never gonna give you up. Uh,
Here, I've got my
so
bad
yeah.
camera on now.
What else?
Oh,
I know that
let's.
you can download a lot of the. Oh, hey, cheat. I was just gonna say, if anyone is interested in some like habit forming or habit breaking things, I know that on James Clear's website, he has worksheets for free, like or cheat sheets that sort of like outline what his process is for like forming a habit and breaking habits. Um, as one example for like forming habits, make it easy and obvious. So for example, my workout equipment is actually, as messy as this might sound, is all out. Like it just like the way to engage in exercise is not to set myself up. The setup is already done,
Mm-hmm.
like for forever, and I just pick up a weight and go. So it makes it just wicked easy for me to not think about
Right.
doing it or
Yeah,
have as little as tiny resistance as
you're
possible.
lowering the barriers of entry to do
Yeah.
the thing, which yeah, that's super important for me to get anything done.
The path of least resistance, make it for
Yeah.
yourself. And that's also true of break. So the breaking habits is just the inverse of making a habit. And so like the more challenging you make something, uh, then the less likely you are to make it a habit, because it's all about your brain. Your brain, what is it? What are the four steps? It's like you have a need, which creates a feeling, then you act on that feeling, and you're given a reward for doing that action.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, an example is if you're working and you're getting, like, fed up with, like, you're getting frustrated with work, or like you find it boring or something like that, you have a need for a distraction. So your action then maybe is to like go scroll Twitter. Your reward is that you're no longer frustrated with work. Now, I didn't say that your reward had to be positive, like you're
Now you're
happy now that
frustrated with
you're
Twitter.
scrolling. Yeah. Uh, but the other thing is um, that other actions can trigger other habits. So you check Twitter, and that cues you to check TikTok, and that cues you to check Instagram, and that cues you to check Facebook. So like you can have all these like loaded habit like programs in your brain that continue to elicit the rewards that your brain knows brings you the path of least resistance or
Mm-hmm.
brings you the most like happy juice. Um, and that's also something to think about. So you also have to think about like how do your habits chain into one another, like when what happens when you're there are people who like angry clean, right? You get into an argument with your partner or something like that, or you get frustrated about like something going on in your day and just start spontaneously doing dishes or like cleaning out a closet you haven't touched in years.
Damn. Is
um,
that a thing?
that's also an example of like a reward. Like I'm no longer focused on my anger. I'm now focused on a more like
Mm.
organized task that maybe isn't something I need to be doing, but I'm doing it anyways.
I didn't know that was a thing. I don't get angry often, but I bet if I cleaned every time I got angry, I would try to find ways to be angry more often. Seems like a bad cycle.
God damn. Fucking Brandon Leon Gambetta. I draped a cardigan over my pull-up bar and didn't work out for a week. I just made it invisible. God damn it. Yeah, Dan's a frustrated dishes doer.
Yeah. What do I? Oh, I clean best if I'm having guests over. That's the only time I really can do chores.
Mm-hmm. And
Not even from like I'd be so embarrassed if this place was messy because none of my
mm-hmm.
friends would ever give a shit. But
Mm-hmm.
just something about that series of events. I think because my stepmom growing up was I'm gonna be embarrassed if everything's messy and so we have to clean because somebody's coming over. I think that
Mm-hmm.
instilled the clean because people are coming over like feedback loop that you're talking about into my
Mm-hmm.
head, and now it just the embarrassment bit isn't there, but the action is, and it's a good action that I exploit. Because if everything's messy, I'm like, anybody want to come over?
Yeah, I need
Who
to
wants
clean
to,
my place. Thank
who
you.
wants to play some board games tomorrow? I don't know. I need I need the brain juice.
Let's see. Dice Ghost can't call in, but they ask, what dice roll have you found in a game that has felt the most satisfying to roll?
We're back to last week, aren't we?
For me, it's dice pools for sure. Like anything that has me roll more than 3 dice is
You're
good.
satisfied with the more than three.
I like multiple click clacks in a contained cubicle box of some sort.
I'm trying to think because I don't know if I have an answer for this, which I think is why I'm always trying to make fucking arcane dice mechanics in my games. Because I don't find Forge in the Dark dice rolling to be satisfying at all. Even though
Oh,
those are
I
some of
guess
my
yes.
favorite games, I
That's
don't.
also true. I don't find Forge in the Dark either because you're only look like you only use one of the dice you're
Mm,
rolling. It makes all those other dice feel wasteful. So dice pools that use all the dice is to uh,
right.
retcon my answer.
Yeah, because I like playing Blades in the Dark a lot, and all of the Forge in the Dark games are some of my favorite bits, but not because the dice are satisfying. The dice are interesting and like I think do something, but they don't. I don't think they satisfy. Um, D20 games are obviously out. Fuck that.
It doesn't feel good.
It just
Like the
feels
one like plunk.
the one plonk. It's only satisfying if you get a 20, which is a 5% chance. So it's 95% unsatisfying. Because even if you succeed, like with a different number, it's still like great. The numbers told me I allowed. I don't know. Um,
I
what?
do, however, I guess I will say that if you can find me a dice pool game that uses like D12s, because rolling a d20 and then having it go on a journey for you, like when it hits the table, like it hasn't decided on a face yet, but it's like spinning like a top and doing a couple extra rolls off of stuff, that feels
Mm-hmm.
exciting.
That's fair. That is a good D12s, huh? Maybe maybe whenever the bell hat comes out, I'll get custom D12s that are just D6s, just to have the satisfying rolling.
Ooh, Dice Ghost mentions the Iron Sworn uh, resolution mechanics, and I agree. It uses all the dice, and the D10s can go on a little bit of a journey for you. So I also like D10s. D10s might actually be my favorite dice now, as I keep playing with them.
I'm looking.
I can see that now. I mean, I'm in the past, so or the future. I don't know where I am.
I'm engaging in some reconnaissance.
You're looking at dice. For podcast viewers, Adam is fully turned around looking at a library of games behind them on
The
what is several 3x3 giant target shelves filled with boxes and books. There's no way that Adam could perceive all of those spines and titles from that position.
I don't. Is that true?
It is.
Sure, I can. Sure, I can. Um, what do we got here? Who rolls dice? I
While
don't. You're right.
while you
Fuck.
look, BLG hates the D4. It plonks. Uh,
Yeah.
D20 dice pool. Holy shit! What would you even do with that? I just feel like that's a lot of variance. That's a huge amount of variance. I guess a D100 is kind of that too, but I don't know. 5 separate dice? Well, I'm imagining five D20, but
Well, that'd be a different.
and also Dan mentions Lancer's D20 plus D6 pool. Still haven't played or read Lancer. I'm getting to it. I promise. I have it in. I have the latest version because I bought it so long ago. They just did another one. Dice Ghost mentions the mothership dice pooling and percentile based stuff.
I'm starting to think I hate dice.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm starting to think I hate dice.
Interesting. I could see that. I mean, it's a little like oversaturated in terms of
Well, I definitely don't.
like a game artifact.
I definitely don't hate dice, but I'm looking at the board games. I was hoping to find an answer in board game land. I have very few dice-based board games.
Root uses D12s.
Yeah, but those aren't satisfying. Those are shit.
They're pretty good.
They're cool. I like them. But like rolling 2d3s, it's purely tell me what happens game. It's not like, oh, this is going to feel good to fight.
Yeah.
Which is part of like the point. Like they definitely didn't want the combat to feel good in that game when they designed it. They wanted the combat to feel like a necessary but deadly thing.
Random resource taxer. Not everything can be determined, otherwise it's solved. BLG says, okay, here's my pitch. Because I was actually doing this for a while. Roll like 5d20 and assign the rolled dice to actions that you have that require a specific threshold to use. I have played with success bands as actions before, so I could see that totally working. I would probably think about like having multiple sort of options. Like you could build characters for multiple options, but I can dig it. But Jason Bostwick has a question. What's your favorite thing to use as a token?
I love this. I love the transition from talking about how the hell to work to now we're just talking about our favorite bits. Games are good.
Our favorite artifact bits.
Favorite thing to use as a token. I saw a game, I can't remember what game it was, but I saw a game recommend that you use lentils, which cracked me up. Like dry lentils as tokens. You could use beans. Just grab your favorite beans.
I like using dice as tokens, honestly. Well, wait, hold on. I guess I'm thinking about tokens as miniatures, and that may not be what they're asking.
Any sort of token.
It could be quarters. Poker chips, I guess, because they're sort of the most non-made accessible. They come in a bunch of, or they're like not game specific but accessible. Like you can sort of buy them anywhere. You can get like a cheap plastic set for like $10 or less, and they come in different colors. You can have them assigned to different things. So I guess poker chips.
Poker chips are good. I often use cubes, which I don't know if I'd say cubes are my favorite, but they're reliable.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a big bucket of cubes.
You could stack them. You could stack poker chips too. Yeah, poker chips are still superior in this. It's now a contest.
Okay. I think beans are better than poker chips.
Okay, I want to see some. All right.
Beans or poker chips?
Yeah. Wait,
this is going to make me double down on this and start using beans in my games.
How do I do it?
/pull. You just type /pull.
I did it. Oh, this account's not a moderator. That's why.
What is your
beans, poker chips, or cubes? That's the poll. I want to see some results. We got 10 people. It shouldn't be an easy win. Also, disgusting. Wet beans. Wet beans as token pieces. Nuts and bolts could be interesting. Maybe pricey, but interesting. Because there's like maybe some cool, um, like tableau style stuff you could do, or you could get like an unended bolt and then screw on um like hex nuts for
Mm-hmm.
different game mechanics or something. That could be interesting.
Yeah, I think unless the game specifically calls for it, I'm
Yeah.
opposed to it because I don't want my hands
Yes.
to smell
Yes.
like I'm not gonna get out nuts and bolts for some no dice no masters game that just needs anything as tokens. Because then same with quarters because I don't want my hands are gonna smell like metal,
Yeah.
which is fine if the game's like, hey, get nuts and bolts. That's part of the game. But
I'm gonna BLG is out here fighting for those
refried
use
beans.
tokens.
Hey, if anybody in the Pittsburgh area needs a can of refried beans, let me know. I didn't realize that the ones at Aldi have lard in them until after I bought them.
I'm gonna be sick to my stomach. I'm gonna be sick to my stomach.
It looks like it's good. It's
Squishing
universal.
beans.
Hey, how come there's 73 votes on beans?
You say 73? You allow
97.
them to multiply vote.
What's happening?
Actually hilarious. Actual cursed.
Is that your one vote on poker chips?
Oh, you can vote with juice.
LG 5.8 thousand juice. Beans are winning. Oh,
This might be the best poll we've ever had.
they're
Oh
coming in.
god.
I don't know. I'm
Ooh,
just gonna
nuts
sit
and
here in
bolts in like a
silence.
shitty tank game. Yes, Dan Phipps. I think that's might be some. You
Shitty.
need to store that idea. Store that away somewhere. That's
What do you
pretty
mean a
good.
shitty tank game?
That's Dan's words, not my
I
words.
know. Yeah. What does that even mean?
World of Tanks
Mm.
coming to you in a board game edition. You're
Oh
in a
shit.
tank, but it's not very good. Uh, Good artifact question, but that also leaves out. We talked about tokens. We talked about dice and cards. Cards have so many affordances on them.
We
So
love
many
cards.
affordances.
Big fan of
Love
cards
cards.
here.
Love a good card. Umbral dive cards.
You heard about this?
You're gonna have to give me 10 seconds because it's
Mm-hmm.
got to catch up.
We love cards in this house.
Yeah, legend has it. Made of cards. People also like the cards. People will buy a physical copy of cards. Print and play? Fuck that shit. I want cards in my hands.
Beans are the big winner. I'm not gonna lie.
Beans,
It's
Beans had
official.
474 votes. Eli contributed 260 channel points for this voting poll. So congratulations to Eli beating BLG for most juice contributed to this poll. Can we get a round of applause for Eli, please?
God, what is going on? What is happening?
Talking about all that deep community building, and we got it.
Yeah.
We got it with the beans.
A little thing called.
We need a juice emoji. We need a bean emoji. We need an emoji for my face because you have a face. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's like my hair, or like me in sunglasses and a mustache. Maybe it's just sunglasses and a mustache.
I mean, if you want to place the order, we could. I could hand it over to my artist,
Art director.
who will then, maybe put it in line right behind that weasel we're supposed to get
Yeah.
ages ago.
Where's my weasel? Oh, jeez.
Oh shit!
So cute.
Here we are.
I'm surprised no one called in on a call-in day.
Yeah,
I think
what the fuck
Floating
is that
Shrimp
about?
might have been trying, but the
What?
bot didn't trigger or something.
What is going on?
You want to hear us talk? Is this what you want? HYP. Though I will say I did like the chat questions. That's been kind of fun.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. If we do, so peek behind the curtain, we're just going to talk about some future of the show stuff, like we're off air. If we do not the live show, we would definitely have to go back because we used to remember get Twitter questions way back in the first season
Yep,
of the show,
we
and that
got
was
it
fun.
twice. Yeah,
Hmm?
well, we got them like three, but we never asked again, so I guess that's not good data. But now people can send contact forms with questions.
That's true. Should check that
Yeah,
contact form. I'm so bad at this.
it's been a little bit.
Uh,
Hey, we've been busy.
it's
Fucking get off our backs. We're a two-man band.
nobody's on our backs.
Fucking get off.
Get off.
BLG, I know you're screaming at your computer. You're not working out and you're yelling at us. Just draping cardigans over stuff.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
ooh, inbox in the Discord.
there we go.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a pretty. Everyone, round of applause for Dice Ghost.
let's clap. Let's close out the show
I
by
need to see
clapping for
some
Dice
clap
Ghost.
emojis. I'm not seeing any clap emojis from our studio audience members, and I want some clap emojis.
Yeah,
That's our thing.
the sign is lit up huge. It says applaud.
Yeah. I will invest in one if it gets people to do clap emojis. I'll click it on and off behind
Oh
me.
my god. I think we would need to give a clap emoji because only people that are unhinged enough to like go to Emojipedia or that are on their phones have easy access to the clap emoji. Otherwise, you're just drowning in Twitch emotes, which are just endless weird faces.
Listen, I can Max let me I have it set to my command. I can just quick boop and then I can do emojis.
What?
Here. Alarm.
What?
Send it. Boom.
Yeah, but we're looking for the clap,
Clap.
so
Boom.
then everybody can copy and paste.
Put it in my skin tone. Boom. Clap.
Oh.
See?
That's been the Tabletop Colin show. Now that it's devolved into Jeremy clapping in the emojis. Yeah, we could just clap. We're on screen. Yeah, that's been the Tabletop Colin show. Nobody called in. Whatever. We don't care. We still had fun. Because we had a bean poll, and that's all it's about.
Yeah, that's all it will ever be about now. Beans, baby.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out while we talked about brain stuff and beans. I have been Adam Bell. You can find me on Twitter at AdamEBell. Get my games at AdamEBell.games. Find stuff about the show and the other stuff that we are doing / will do in the future at HaveYouPlayedThis.com. Jeremy.
I've been Jeremy. You can find me at JeremyH5 over on Twitter or at DrawYourDicePod, also on Twitter. You can find any of our content over on the HaveYouPlayedThis.com website. Going to be getting a playtest together for Umbral Dive by the end of the month, so I'll be looking for people to test it with me and without me, which is the scarier one. But
Oh yeah, blind play testing.
By Job, we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I get back on my ass making games, maybe I'll come play test too.
Yeah.
Hey, who knows?
And thank all of you for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Literally, we have a good amount of people out here. We got people talking about beans, clapping, spending juice. And that's what it's about. That's why we keep doing the damn thing.
It's called Juice for
but
Beans.
Hit that subscribe button too. That'd be cool.
Juice for Beans.
Go
All right.
on the website.
All right, we're leaving.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for hanging out.